Channel 9 Eyewitness News at 11.
We are staying on top of that breaking news that has been unfolding for the last several hours in Sydney, Australia. It is believed that more than a dozen people are being held hostage right now inside a chocolate shop and cafe. Officials spoke just within the last hour, and they say they are still working to determine just how many people are being held and how many armed suspects there are. We have seen images that appear to show several people through the window holding their hands up in the air. Some of them seem to actually have their hands pressed against the glass. We have also seen people inside the cafe holding up what appears to be a black flag with white Arabic writing on it. Specialist officers are trying to make contact with the people inside and determine who may be behind this.
We have not yet confirmed this is a terrorism-related event. We are dealing with a hostage situation with an armed offender, and we're dealing with it accordingly. Now, we are ready to escalate should we need to.
I can think of almost nothing more distressing, more terrifying than to be caught up in such a situation, and our hearts go out to those people.
Local businesses and even the famed Sydney Opera House have all been evacuated. A United Airlines flight from San Francisco that was heading to Sydney was diverted. Qantas Airlines tweeted out that it is diverting all of its flights around Sydney. Officials say President Obama is being briefed on this situation, and so far no demands have been made and no one has claimed responsibility. But again, an apparent hostage situation is unfolding right now in Sydney, Australia, with at least 13 hostages. We will keep you updated throughout this newscast as we learn more. And of course, we will have the very latest on Eyewitness News Daybreak starting at 4:30 a.m. New at 11, the son of a prominent Superior Court judge in Catawba County killed in a motorcycle accident. Police say an officer clocked him speeding and saw him run a red light in Newton. The officer tried to catch up to him, but he had already crashed. Eyewitness News reporter Alexa Ashwell just spoke to the police chief. Alexa?
Alexa Ashwell, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
We're learning new information tonight about a man who police say lured a young girl away from her parents and into the bathroom of a Michaels store in Boone. As Eyewitness News reporter Trish Williford tells us, police don't think this is the first time.
Well, authorities believe they're Williford, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Tonight, we are waiting on test results to determine if skeletal remains found in Cleveland County are human. Deputies found the remains yesterday afternoon in a wooded area off of Long Branch Road in Kings Mountain. We're told that area backs up to a hunting ground. Investigators sent the remains to the Charlotte Medical Examiner's office. Tomorrow, a local representative will unveil an anti-racial profiling bill for North Carolina. If passed, the bill from Mecklenburg County Representative Rodney Moore would require more diversity training for officers and more data from traffic stops to show how officers interact with citizens. The NAACP has been calling for the law as well as body cameras for police. Friends and family will gather tomorrow to pay tributes to a South Iredell High School student who died in a crash in Mooresville. Investigators say Colt Murdoch lost control of his moped. It was on Reinhardt Road around midnight Saturday. He was lying in the road when an oncoming car hit him. Colt died on the way to the hospital. The driver who hit him is not facing charges. Visitation for Colt is tomorrow from 6 to 8 at Cavan Cook Funeral Home in Mooresville. His funeral is on Tuesday at 2 p.m. Firefighters are working to find out what caused a fire that sent flames shooting through the roof of a Union County business. This fire started around 11 at Peddler's Marketplace off of Highway 74 and Indian Trail. It's an antique store, and firefighters say the merchandise inside the building fueled the fire. It belongs to dozens of vendors. People inside rushed out on their own, and they weren't hurt. Members of a nearby church couldn't believe the size of the fire.
When I looked to the left of it, I wasn't really expecting it to be like really big. But when I looked, there was just flames shooting out. So it was like shocking.
The business is a total loss. Firefighters were able to keep the fire from spreading to other neighboring businesses. Tomorrow is the last day for new customers to sign up for health care coverage under the Affordable Care Act. That's for coverage that starts in January. Current customers face the same deadline to make any changes. Healthcare.gov is expecting heavy traffic on the site. The overall enrollment period ends February 15th. A $1.1 trillion spending bill is on its way to the president for his signature. The Senate passed a long-term spending measure yesterday, removing the threat of a shutdown. It provides money for nearly the entire government through the end of the current budget year, which ends in September. President Obama is expected to sign the bill. City and state leaders are set to celebrate the newest building to be added to Charlotte's skyline. Tomorrow, Governor Pat McCrory will help break ground for the 25-story tower. Babson Capital Management will be the main tenant for the new building that will sit on South Tryon at 3rd Street. Construction is expected to be finished by the spring of 2017. Days after he was hurt in a serious crash, Panthers quarterback and team captain Cam Newton cheered his teammates to a win today from the sidelines. He wasn't in pads, and it's unclear when he might be able to play football again. But today, none of that seemed to matter. Cam cheered as loud as any of the fans in attendance as his backup, Derek Anderson, led the team to a win and kept their playoff hopes alive.
That's what a leader does. So, but he was very vocal, he was into the game. So, that helped us, and helped with the energy on the sideline.
I think he plays a solid quarterback. I think he's the best backup in the league. So, it'd be great to see him. I miss Cam, but, it'd be great to see.
And he's not the only one who thinks Anderson is the best backup in the league. Coming up in sports, hear Anderson's teammates rave about his performance, plus what the Panthers have to do next to make it to the postseason. We are staying on top of that breaking news in Australia, where a hostage situation is underway inside a cafe in Sydney. President Obama is being briefed and flights are being diverted. What we're learning about the people inside. And gas prices are falling, but the cost of airfare hasn't changed. And some say that doesn't add up. The new call for a federal investigation.
Well, we're going from one extreme to the other. After a day in the 60s, I'm tracking some spots already close to the 20s. How cold will it be when you wake up in the morning? Coming up.